Good evening, my name is Michelle Stewart, and I am going to be doing our third video blog over professional and counseling skills, chapter 8 and chapter 9. The first question is, are the sessions that we watch similar to what I would expect in a counseling session? And I would say yes, that both of them flowed similar to what I would expect. The only thing that I probably, as a client, wouldn't like is the closeness of the counselor and the client. It's just a personal preference. I feel like my bubble space is a little larger, and so I would feel more comfortable from a client perspective if there was a little bit more room in between the two. But again, that's just my personal preference. In my readings with 8 and 9, the characteristics that I noticed, I did notice that the second counselor displayed all aspects mentioned in chapter 8 on page 319. He had a very warm attitude. He seemed very genuine and empathetic. And that goes with the advanced counseling skills mentioned in chapter 8. The first one was a little cold and standoffish. He pushed off the suggestions until the next week, which I found that to be a little odd. He seemed more like maybe he was a beginner or maybe he was preoccupied, but he did have the core counseling skills mentioned in chapter 8. And I also noticed they both demonstrated the theoretical orientation of the theory of attachment, especially counselor number 2. He really went into detail on maybe why was she doing the things that she was doing, and he went over the attachment style. In the first counseling session, they kind of brushed over it when she was discussing that she wanted to focus on work and not make friends, or focus on developing a friendly relationship. Let's see. And if I had to choose one of the counselors that would be a good fit for me, I would definitely go with the second one. He just was very inviting, very open, very warm. I felt like the conversation flowed better, and I also felt like he was more invested than the first one. So if I had to choose, I would go with the second one. However, I will say, just personal preference, I prefer female therapists. I feel like I can just relate to them more, especially with issues that we deal with as women. One question that I guess would ask would be, for the first one is that common? I'm sure that there are people that are okay with a therapist being a little standoffish and a little cold. Is that normal? And then, I don't know. I thought the second guy was just a really good example of how a professional counselor should conduct a therapy session. Okay, thank you so much.